Welcome back to the Chelsea FanCast. I'm Stamford Gidge, and that is Walter Otten, who you've just heard about. A brilliant book. Pablo on my left, Ross on my right. And that is... No, you're fired. You're fired. Cheerio!
They didn't know they're ready yet.
Cheerio. You're gone, mate. That's it. Right, anyway, this bit of the show...
What did I miss?
This bit of the show is where we actually involve you, rather than us talking nonsense most of the time, because this is where you can Skype call us and you can tweet us, and more important of all is that if you're listening live on the Mixlr live web chat, you can ask questions to Chelsea Chatter, and then he will ask us in turn. You see, it's very democratic, really, if you think about it. But anyway, just to give you a quick shout, this Mixlr, mixlr.com/Chelsea-fancast. Skype address is chelsea.fancast. Email us during the week. I'm quite happy to put questions in that you email to me during the week, and that's chelseafancast@gmail.com. And of course, Twitter is @ChelseaFancast. And use the hashtag Chelsea FanCast. All very simple. Now, Chad, have we got any questions for us or for Walter?
Yeah, we've got plenty today. I just wanted to start off with this comment, though. It's from Delboy Edwards, who he said he's a bit annoyed with the time difference that's happened, that he can't listen to all the show, but he is going to put it on for his trip from Dubai to Abu Dhabi. So he's going to be listening to that.
He lives in Dubai, does he?
It looks that way, yeah, or he's on holiday. But I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're about 4 hours ahead of us, I think. So yeah, tonight will be a bit late for him. So I'm sorry about that, Del Boy. Normally we do it at 7 o'clock our time, and I will endeavour to do that. But do not panic, my friend. If you can't listen to it live, the TV show is repeated every day on Sports Tonight Live, and I think it's 3:30 in the morning. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and 9 p.m. in the evening, so you can always catch up there. And of course, we have it on YouTube as well the next day. And of course, if you like the old money version, then listen to the podcast by downloading it on the Wednesday. That was probably the simplest question I have ever had to answer. Now, I've got a brilliant bloke on Skype right now who's waiting in the wings, and he was definitely one of the first listeners to the show. He was here when we were not very good. I went over to Melbourne to get drunk with him in a pub out there. He's been over here, and I love this man like a brother. It is Bobby D. Robert Delsini. Bobby D! Bobby D! Bobby D! Bobby D! Bobby D! How about that, mate? How are you? How are you, mate?
Pretty good, mate. I must admit, I like the new times because I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to listen to the show, so a lot better.
Brilliant. And how is Melbourne at the moment?
Quite warm. Yeah, well, actually cold at the moment, but it's going to be 24, so not bad weather for the Melbourne Cup. We've got a day off for a horse race today, which is quite good.
Brilliant. And are you looking forward to? Of course, we've got the Ashes is coming up. Are you going to go to Melbourne to give him some stick?
Yes, we are. I'm going to be at the MCG to give them loads of stick, and hopefully give the Blue Roo a bit of stick along the way as well.
Absolutely. I can't wait for the Ashes because Blue Roo is going to get it big time, I think. I really do. Anyway, apart from all that, how are you? I mean, you got a question for us? You're just having a general chat?
No, I've got a question for you. Basically, what I want to know is, looking backwards, any regrets on any games that you missed that you really wish you could have been there?
Do you know?
Sorry.
Go on, Bobby. Carry on.
For me, biggest game I regret missing was the 4-2 cup game against Liverpool at the Bridge. I just wish I could have been there.
Yeah, that's a brilliant question, mate, and I have so many, but I'm going to start with Darren.
If it makes you feel any better, I think it was January 29th, 1997 I was there, so, I made up for that.
I was there as well. I barely went those days, and I managed to...
Well, I was there. The one for me, Bobby, was, I remember when we played Liverpool at home in the Champions League in 2004-2005 season, I got offered a ticket there. Someone had 8 spares to the Bolton match, and I said, I'm going to Liverpool, I can't afford to go to both, and we're not going to beat... Because we weren't playing that well against Bolton a lot of time away. I thought we won't win the league at Bolton away, so I didn't go to it, and I watched it in what was Blues pub, which is now Frankie's, and I could have easily been there, especially how close Liverpool is to Bolton. My mate was at Lancaster Uni, and that was for me my biggest regret, probably not being there then. Not Arsenal last week, Chidge. That was a bit of an annoyance for me, but it wasn't as bad.
Or Newcastle.
I think Bolton when we won the league would have been for me.
I think in recent times, mate, the two biggest misses that I regret, I was really actually very upset that I couldn't afford to go to the Europa Cup final, bizarrely enough. Not least because it was in Amsterdam and it would have been a great trip out there. But I think of all the matches last season or in recent memory, the one that I really regret not going to is the Leeds away in the Carling Cup last year, because that a bit like the Emirates, but with a bit of an edge to it. I would have quite liked that. Pablo?
I think for me, recently, it would probably... Sorry, Bobby. I think it would probably be the 2 Barcelona semi-final.
Yes.
I half agree, but my theory in that was I didn't go either. I thought, if we lose, then although we wasn't there to support the team, we've lost. But if we win, we'll be in Munich anyway, so it wasn't all bad.
True.
What about you, mate?
Yeah, it's the same as Darren, really. When Mourinho took over Chelsea, I was like, right, we're going to need a year to catch up with Fergie and Wenger. So I recently was married to the Doris, and we thought we'd go travelling for a few months. So I was actually in the Whitsunday Islands on a boat in Australia when
nice.
Chelsea won the league. But I didn't know that because there was no TV, no radio, no phone. I found out the following day when a little snippet in the Australian paper said Joe Cole dances on top of the team coach. Chelsea win the league.
How lovely. Ross, what about you?
Bolton's a good shout.
Yeah.
But on a personal level, I had a ticket for Tottenham away in the FA Cup when we smashed them 4-0.
Oh, yes.
But I couldn't go because I hadn't done my homework.
Punishment, mate. Anyway, Bobby, when are you going to come over to England again? We miss you, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of years before I come over, but hopefully try and make it a bit sooner. But yeah, I'll miss the beer.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that was it, VB? It's horrible. I think they've got a letter wrong.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
But is that on your banned list of words?
Probably if I push it, it is. If Darren says anything else, I'm going to get him escorted out of the studio by security.
Bobby did tweet me to ask me how hard it is not to swear on the show,
Bobby,
and it is effing hard.
Shut up, Bobby. It's lovely to see you, mate. We need to get you out here because we haven't seen you for ages and ages and ages. Where are you watching the games at the moment?
I watch them at home because they're on at like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So
Saturday.
And the Aussies are all in bed by 11, aren't they? Because they're not quite as hardcore as they think they are.
9.
No, it's just a nightmare some of the times, but you know you've just got to do it and then have 2 hours and then go to work. So I remember the Champions League final. I got up, I couldn't sleep, so I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had my kids that day. So then we had a day trip, so I didn't get to bed until like 9 o'clock that night. But it was such hyped up. So, but it's good getting not much sleep to watch us win the Champions League.
I think Garfield or Gaffer, the Gaffer as he is known. You want to ask Bobby a question?
Say hi to my brother. He knows my brother.
Yes,
Andrew Bailey.
You know Andrew, don't you, mate?
Yeah, we keep on trying to arrange to meet up down the same pub we went down, but never really got like worlds to meet up. But yeah, I'll say hello to him.
Brilliant stuff. Look, Bobby, we got to move on, but it's really brilliant to speak to you, mate.
Bobby D.
Really great to see you, mate. You take care, fella.
See you later, mate.
Lovely. I do love Bobby. That's such a great time out there.
I want to go to Australia now.
Me too. Right. Sorry, Greg. We're all leaving. We're going to get on a plane to Australia right now. I wish we could. Chadder, have you got any more questiones for us?
Yeah, I've got a couple for Walter here from Johnny T. He says, we all know that you're our leader, but he wants to know who's your leader. And he also wants to know what's been your most memorable away trip and for what reason.
Okay, so the first question, one of the things about Arsenal away was I was in this boozer, I think it was called the Drayton, I can't remember, massive sing-song, and actually Lizzie D said to me, you're happy, aren't you? And I went, yeah, those moments are my happiest.
Yeah.
And then some fella got down off the stool that was chanting and pulled up, only £1.
Oh, brilliant.
And he sang to the multitude, hurry up and buy it, it's only £1. So he's my leader.
What, only £1?
Yeah.
Singing Sloop John B?
The second, yes, he was. Most memorable away game. It's got to be 2010, Anfield, Ancelotti, because we never used to win at Anfield going back, and we'd have a couple of results there.
Vinnie Jones.
Veron, Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
Why has he missed a penalty that day?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think he did. Anyway, that's for the statos. So everything that Anfield represented was, this is a ground that you come to and you don't win and all that Liverpool stuff. And we won 2-0. And before the game, there was a very defiant Chelsea, 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 and it was the most defiant that I can remember. We won the game, and coming out of Anfield that day, that was a brilliant away game. Thanks, Johnny T, for your questions.
Brilliant stuff. Any more?
Just a general question for you guys there from Twitter by @CFC_Lazar, who wants to know, who would you prefer up front for the Schalke and the West Brom game?
Ooh, that's good. Darren, off you go.
Torres, I think you should always start with your first choice striker, and I think at the moment, Mbabar isn't good enough, Eto'o isn't fit enough, so Torres.
Torres has earned the right, even though he was quiet at Newcastle, to play the Schalke game, and then depending on that, either Torres or Eto'o on Saturday.
I was going to say
Eto'o for Schalke, one of them for West Brom, depending on Eto'o's performance, but Torres is ahead of him for the league game. We'll see.
I would start. We need to win that match against Schalke.
It would be very handy if we did.
We win that match against Schalke, then we're pretty much through. So we need to go and win it.
Yeah,
and Torres is man in form for me, so he has to start.
I'd go Dave Mitchell and Steve Livingston.
Okay, not Joe Allen.
Oh yeah, super sub. Joe Allen.
He's on Twitter. He's a Newcastle United fan, though, right? Remember when he turned up at the bridge when we were playing Newcastle and he gave them bad move. I would start Torres. I really would. Got any more, Chad Meister? We got room for another couple, I think.
Yeah, one from Nikki Kilduff here says she thinks Lampard's struggling. What do you guys think?
Wow. I don't think you can ever say it. I think that when AVB dropped Lampard for a little bit, it proved to be the wrong decision, and you can never rule Lampard out. He's always good for a goal and an assist. He works his nuts off, and like Barnett said the other week as well, if everyone's got a ball, he always wants it, and B, he looks around so much. Since he said it, and I said it to Gaffer, and he agreed as well, you can see Lampard does look around before he's even got the ball. He knows where the pass is going before he's even got it. He reads the game brilliantly, and he's a fantastic player.
Is he playing well?
He's playing well enough, yeah.
Yeah, Chidge, we were going to talk about this earlier. I think we ran out of time, but I looked up his last 7 performances for Chelsea and the rankings I gave him, and I gave him 8, 8, 6, 7, 6, 5, 5. So his last couple of performances haven't been great, but I think generally he's been pretty good this season.
I think basically if you put £10 on him to be anytime goal scorer next game, you're going to win some money.
Well, I hope so, because I absolutely adore Frank, and for me, I thought it was quite a worrying performance. But then again, most of them played pretty poorly, so I don't think you can really single Frank out for the performance against Newcastle, because quite a lot of them are poor. So hopefully it was just for all of them, it was a blip, and then he'll come back, he'll play again on Wednesday, and he'll be brilliant, and he'll score.
When you get
one, you'll get more.
Exactly.
We'll sing your assembly when we get to Wembley. So come on, you Chelsea, and score.
Oh, how I've missed the dulcet tones of Darren Mantle. Not. Chadder, got any more?
I've got one here from Twitter again @BlueMarkC, who says, how do you think the Arsenal game that we just played compares to the one in the 80s where Kerry Dixon scored?
Ooh.
Great, that is a brilliant question. That is a brilliant question. Do you know what? I was 9 years old when that game was played. But, I love the book that was written, and I've kind of immersed myself into that game, even though I wasn't old enough to go, and everything that goes with it. And I think for a lot of people, that there was something that was released in that match.
Yes.
Getting promoted.
Yeah.
Frustration, mate.
Yeah. And I can't remember the question.
Well, it's talking about
comparing
it's a great question, because it's comparing 84 to what happened last week. Now I wasn't there either, but I have a lot of mates who were, and it's kind of been passed down in folklore how important that match was, not for necessarily just what happened on the pitch, but the fact that we took about 10,000 away that night, or that day, and took them over. Absolutely monstered Arsenal that day. And I was thinking the same coming out. We were having a beer, weren't we, after the match in one of their pubs, funnily enough. And we were saying the same thing, that actually this reminds me of those days when we used to take thousands away, and absolutely monster that environment.
And actually, there was a Man City fan who came on Twitter who that a lot of Chelsea retweeted because he was saying, I remember a Friday night in, I think it was 1989, Chelsea's at 10,000 to Main Road.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of helps bridge the gap between, you know, the younger lot who love Chelsea but obviously they weren't old enough, so they didn't go through those times.
No, it was great. And there was also the other thing about last week was that there was a really nice mix of the old school lot and a lot of the young ones too. And I think one of the funniest kind of tweets I saw during the evening and the next day, from the usual suspects were loving the fact that Arsenal had just been absolutely mugged off by what they called the megastore boys. People that they don't consider to be, proper enough fans, but they were giving it to Arsenal.
Even,
and I thought that
even
was
the megastore multitudes.
The megastore multitudes, that's absolutely right.
We're mugging you off.
Brilliant stuff. I don't think we got. I don't know. We might. If it's a very quick question, we got a minute and a half, Chadder. So one more, and we'll make it quick.
Right. Quick question for Darren from Zuriel NG. Says, with all the depth in the squad, what would be a good formation to use other than 4-2-3-1?
Well, Mourinho likes to take away the left-back position. I think we could actually go a bit, if it's a home game, I've always said we need to go more attacking. We don't need to go 4-2-3-1. We only need to have one holding person that's disciplined, like Mikel, who won't go past the halfway line. People like Ramirez who've got an engine that can go past it. We don't need that many people back for most of our home matches. I don't know why Mourinho likes to start Lampard and Ramirez, because Lampard won't run anymore because he can't do it all the time. And Ramirez won't run, but he can do it, and Lampard can't run anymore.
4-4-3-2-1.
So he's going to have Lampard and Ramirez because they need one of them to attack more.
I'm sure our listener is. In fact, you probably haven't got one anymore because he's probably switched off. And you know what? I would do too. I think it's time that we had a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to have some stats from the Chadmeister General.
I've got time for a fact.
Mr. Stats himself. No, you haven't. We'll be back after the break.
I'm going for
Don't go away.